America is under attack. InfoWars is under attack. I am under personal attack. They demonstrated today that they treat the president's advisors, they treat the president's friends like gangsters. I did not expect to wake up and be looking down the barrel of two guns this morning at 5:55 this morning. They are clearly desperate to take down Donald Trump. I expect that they will try to put my head in a vice to get me to bear false witness against him. I'm not going to do that, as I've made very clear. He needs to appoint a special counsel to examine the FISA warrants. He needs to declassify them immediately. That I think brings the whole globalist Obama, Clinton house of cards down. It is the single most important thing that he can do, and then it will give a special counsel of his appointment, of the new Attorney General's appointment, or even the acting Attorney General's appointment, a roadmap. And that roadmap needs to be followed.
You know, I learned 30 plus years ago from their own documents that a group of multinational corporations allied with the Chi-Coms and others plan to take over every free nation in the world and turn us into tyrannies. And I began to fight it 25 years ago. All over the world now, nationalists and patriots are getting elected. And everywhere they're being elected, they turn the tide of tyranny. But then the deep state tries to indict them. Roger Stone was the chief advisor to Trump. He got him to run exploratory in 2000, again in 2014 or so for 2016. He's been targeted for 2.5 years with this BS. So have I. We've laughed about it a lot until it got down to the wire that trying to talk to WikiLeaks is criminal and Russian collusion when they're not even Russian. And all the rest of the media could talk to them, including the Washington Post, the New York Times, CNN. And now CNN's camped outside his house, gets the tip. They're there, 29 SWAT team raid. And then Roger gets out, goes and gives a press conference after he talks to us exclusively. And there's so many reporters screaming, you're a Russian, you can't hear anything. Because obviously they all got there to shout him down so that he wouldn't get a statement. Well, you're going to get his statement here right now, what he thinks the president should do, where this country's going. Dershowitz is now saying the sky's blue and warning the president that he is the target. This is made up. Appoint a special prosecutor. You've got the president's ear right now more than ever, Roger, in your 44 years of friendship. The White House is watching right now, Roger. Specifically, what's happening big picture? What does the president need to do? What does America need to do to understand the real threat we face? The deep state's taking down the First Amendment and everything right now.
Well, I think they demonstrated today that they treat the president's advisors, they treat the president's friends like gangsters. I did not expect to wake up and be looking down the barrel of two guns this morning at 5:55 this morning. They are clearly desperate to take down Donald Trump. I expect that they will try to put my head in a vice to get me to bear false witness against him. I'm not going to do that, as I've made very clear. He needs to appoint a special counsel to examine the FISA warrants. He needs to declassify them immediately. That I think brings the whole globalist Obama, Clinton house of cards down. It is the single most important thing that he can do, and then it will give a special counsel of his appointment, of the new Attorney General's appointment, or even the acting Attorney General's appointment, a roadmap. And that roadmap needs to be followed. There's no doubt in my mind that this isn't about Roger Stone, other than the fact that this indictment is so thin, so incorrect, has so many distortions in it. My lawyers are aghast. First of all, they're aghast that they weren't called, that CNN knew of my arrest before they did, which is unheard of. Unheard of. They actually put out a press release prior to my lawyers being notified so they could have a media circus, and then treating me like the OG. I'm not the OG. But if they're going to treat me like one, I might as well act like one. I mean, it's absurd. This is, first they try to break you financially, so hoping that I would plead guilty to these charges. I've lost my life and health insurance in December. I had to sell my car. I I had to liquidate a small fund I had put aside for my book sales for the college education of my children. I have no stocks, no bonds, no real estate. You know, thank God for InfoWars because you guys have kept me alive. I have a couple other very small gigs, but not much. Facebook and their war of censorship against InfoWars and against me has really hurt my book sales. So the idea is to put you under such intense, financial pressure, you're forced to plead guilty to something you didn't do, and then in turn to turn on the president Michael Cohen style.
And let's be clear. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. You make that statement, but they're making their move now. They're going to move on the president. Dershowitz is smart. He's admitted it. But let's just talk about this. They need us to be the demons. They need somebody to say, okay, we're Russians when there's no proof. And again, nothing here. So that's why if people support InfoWarsStore.com, if they support, because I support you, if they support StoneDefenseFund.com, this is the revolution. This is 1776 Part 2. This is standing against the whole system. So yes, everyone should send a strong message at StoneDefenseFund.com and go make donations there right now. And everyone should go to InfoWarsStore.com and get your books and get your T-shirt, because part of that proceeds goes to you. Because as you know, Roger, we're next in the hopper. We told everybody they were going to try to frame my dad for hush money because Corsi signed a contract where he'd get paid out unless it was for cause. So to be nice, we paid out the last 6 months of his contract that just so happens to end in January. That's when it was signed 2 years ago, so it's renewed every year. And I've got my phone ringing off the hook like, are you going to jail next for your hush money? So now paying your reporters is hush money. I mean, these people are going for broke, but put them on the defense. They're in Uranium One, hundreds of millions from the Russians, Mueller at Tarmax, uranium, the foundations, the kidnapped kids in Haiti. I mean, it's just Trump doesn't ever go on the offense. And it's insane as they creep up towards him. Your emergency message to the president. Again, what are you saying to the president right now?
Appoint a special counsel immediately to investigate Uranium One and the crimes of the Clintons and the Obamas. Secondarily, declassify all of the documents. Who else was subject to an illegal, unconstitutional FISA warrant besides Carter Page? Because I believe that I was subject to one. Get to the bottom of who has been surveilled. Alex, there's no doubt that they've come for me, and I really believe they are coming for you based on this trumped-up nonsense coming from Jerry Corsi and the...
Well, let's be clear. I mean, Michael Caputo and others a year and a half ago, or a year ago, got asked about Alex Jones. We never made that up. You think I want to be in the crosshairs of this? It just shows how asinine it is. Now I'm the Russian agent. And if they find something to indict me for made up, it won't be Russia again, because everyone knows I bleed red, white, and blue.
It's an absurdity. Look, I'm a guy who had family members mowed down by Russian tanks in Budapest in 1956. I hate the Russians and their system. I'm a patriotic American, so accusing me of collusion with the Russians is about the greatest single insult you could have.
You're married to the daughter of a famous, Cuban capitalist and fighter, and you helped round up a bunch of Russians in the 80s for Reagan. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Exactly, which is why I intend to fight. I will fight these charges. This is what they wouldn't let me say today. I am innocent. These charges are bogus. They're fabricated. None of them relate to Russian collusion. None of them relate to any collaboration with the WikiLeaks. The idea that you or I or anyone we know got documents from WikiLeaks and gave them to the Trump campaign is categorically false. This is a political indictment as part of a political witch hunt. And I will not bend. I will not falter. I will not fold, and I'm not going to testify against Trump. But I think
Roger, I know you've got
begins.
I know you got 5 lawyers and literally 50 chase cars chasing you wherever you went to. We need you on the war room today. The whole world wants to distort what you said. They tried to boo you. They tried to block you from having speech. You have it here for now. Thanks to listeners supporting us and building this platform to fight now in America's darkest hour. So promise me that you'll pop in at the start of the war room, 3 o'clock Central, 4 o'clock Eastern today, okay?
Probably be 5 o'clock, my normal slot.
Okay, perfect. Let me talk to you during the break, though. Stay there. Well, the corporate media is everywhere announcing that they're going to have the first exclusive with Roger Stone. Because InfoWars, we don't exist. except with our millions of listeners that are going to get the word out and share these videos, because this is now them making the move on the president. This is it. The president came out. He's already compromised once on DACA, which he did a year ago and they said no to. And now he's saying even more compromise and they're refusing. But they're claiming they've come to a short interim, temporary government shutdown restart. That's coming up. We've got one of his lawyers, Tyler Nixon, very smart guy, popping in here in a moment. We've also got some of the reporters that were there today covering this. But Roger, they fought hard at your press conference to block you out and scream you're a Russian agent, including a lot of the press, the so-called media, who are now murderers of the truth. So this is your chance to encapsulate it all in like 3-4 minutes. And I'm going to run this every day for the next 2 weeks so people know the truth. Because next week, like Paul Manafort, you could disappear into a spider hole, which I hope doesn't happen because I'm next. We're all in this together, brother. So here's your chance to the president, the world, everybody. While InfoWars is still standing, bleeding, but in the fight, thanks to the prayers of our supporters, here's your chance to communicate your statement about the war on the press, the war on your family. There's no Russia collusion in this. It's so insane. You're trying to put you in prison for decades for being a journalist. The indictment is insane. What does it all signify, Roger Stone?
Well, Alex, America is under attack. InfoWars is under attack. I am under personal attack. In order to weaken me, they spread lies about the settlement of a lawsuit weeks ago, pushing the headline, Roger Stone admits pushing lies on InfoWars, which is not what I said. In fact, I'll be very clear. I've never reported anything at InfoWars or any other platform that I didn't believe to be true at the time I reported it. That was an effort to shape my credibility with the public as a setup for what happened today. They want to treat me like a gangster. They think I'm the OG. When they could have just called my lawyers and I would have voluntarily surrendered wearing a suit and tie. Instead, they kick in the door of my house at 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:50, guns drawn. They handcuff me like I'm a drug dealer. They prop up completely fabricated non-Russian collusion, no WikiLeaks collaboration, no evidence of any crime that pertains to the election of Donald Trump in the 2016 election. Allegations pushed by Adam Schiff and Eric Swalwell that I was less than truthful in my House Intelligence Committee testimony, which I was not. To the extent that I made any errors, it would be honest errors of memory, and it would be irrelevant. I mean, inconsequential, immaterial, as the law would require for a perjury charge. What they did to me today was an effort to intimidate me, to humiliate me, putting me in shackles in the federal courthouse, parading me in front of a courtroom full of reporters. But I won't bend. I won't break. I won't fade. I won't quit. I'm not going to testify against Donald Trump and make up lies that they suggest to ease the pressure on myself. I will fight these charges. I have excellent lawyers. I have my deep belief in God. I have the strong support of not only my family, but the InfoWars family. I do need people to go to stonedefensefund.com. My lawyers project that my defense could cost as much as $2 million. Right now, I'm struggling to pay the rent, to pay my taxes. I had to sell my car. I lost my health and life insurance. It is part of their plan to squeeze you financially, to make you plead guilty to something you didn't do, and to try to leverage you to testify against our great president. I'm just not going to do that.
It's called siege. So America's fighting for its life, and all these so-called fake journalists cheerleading, shutting down your speech at the press conference. They should be ashamed of themselves. They're not journalists. They're killers of the truth now. That's their new job, and America is falling to real tyranny if the president doesn't take action, appoint the special counsel on Uranium One, and so much more. StoneDefenseFund.com, StoneColdTruth.com. Everybody buy a T-shirt, buy a Stone Rock, whatever. I know what this war is like. It takes money to fight this, and I've been particularly targeted for backing Stone because I was the real deal. But I'm honored to be here with you and other Americans to make this country great again. And Roger, I really, really appreciate you. And obviously, you'll be on the War Room today with another global exclusive in the second hour. It's got to really anger the mainstream corporate media that they tried to shut you down and boo you out at that press conference. But I was told earlier, 50,000 people a second. So when that zeitgeist gets hit, were hitting the live feeds and crashed our servers, but we're back up. It's only 5,000 new people a second hitting right now. So you've got millions of new listeners wanting to hear, well, this is evil devil, this horrible Russian. Let's hear what he's done. And there's nothing there, Roger.
God bless you, Alex, and God bless everyone at InfoWars.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you, Roger. Ladies and gentlemen, the new year is here. And I personally, in the new year, am looking at all the great supplements and products at InfoWarsLife.com and saying, what do I need to take religiously that I'm forgetting to take, that lowers inflammation, that empowers all the cells in the body, that makes me healthier, better stamina, libido, energy? And it's these three babies. It's Body's Ultimate Turmeric Formula with 95% curcuminoid. Nobody else can top that. Top of the line in the nation. It's X3 that has all three of the good types of iodine together, including the deep earth crystal iodine. Because some people can't absorb that type, we put a little bit of the other two types and a tiny bit of vitamin C to stabilize it. And then Super Male and Super Female Vitality. Super Male Vitality's been our overall most successful product, neck and neck with Brain Force Plus. But because it's wildcrafted and a proprietary process, we weren't able to get it for long periods of time. And so I made the decision just to discontinue it and try to reformulate. But it's been very, very hard to do. So we're not discontinuing it because it's crap. We're discontinuing it because we can't get it. It may come back in the future, but right now we're just not able to bring it. It's our last run of it. Proprietary, amazing. It's at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWarsStore.com is the umbrella site. Or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Body's Turmeric Formula. And it's supercharged with other key ingredients that supercharge it, bring it to the next level. And then, of course, it's the X3. It's our final run of X2. We've secured the deep earth iodine, but I thought to make a better one with all three types and the vitamin C. So get your X2, get your X3, all at InfoWarsStore.com or 888-253-3139. And again, have a great New Year as we fight the globalists and restore the republic and freedom to the planet. Thank you all.